guys, it's TEW2016 Maxwell here, and welcome to the latest edition of TNA Making an Impact. We have one of two shows, this and then next week's go home show before we head to our next pay-per-view, which is called Final Resolution, and that'll be the final one of 2016. So we've got 2 weeks to build a card, not the easiest task in the world, which sees a lot of angles today, because a few storylines change up, and a couple of matchups as well, a couple of decent matchups that we hope draw a very, very good rating. So we'll dive right in it as 14 segments. I hope you enjoy this episode of TNA Making an Impact. Let's go. So we start the show with the man who is still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the one and only, Fergal Devitt. Devitt says, "I must say, it gives me great honour to stand here, still your TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Last night I had to battle with Stu Barrett, but without his goons around I was able to get the job done and win." From this we move on. Chris, and he's interrupted by the music of Chris Jericho himself. And he says, "Yes, Fergal, that's right, you move on to Y2J, Chris Jericho. And rest assured, members of the TNA universe, our audience, we together will put on a classic." Whoa, 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 whoa. Enough of the love affair. And it's the Monster Abyss, alongside Crazy Steve and Rosemary, the Decay. "Jericho, I know you're known for having a party lifestyle, and similar to James Storm, you are part of the problem. You're a monster in my eyes. After I mentioned this to Carly, I now have permission to destroy you and Devitt tonight in our tag team match main event. The Decay will destroy this love fest and everything that is wrong with TNA Impact." So, limited characteristics there, unfortunately, limited characters at least. Mean that's what we're restricted to, but we've had a promo between Jericho and Devitt. They're going to line up tonight, no hard feelings between each other, and they're going to face the Decay in tonight's main event. So C+71, good opener. Got the show off to a strong start, it got the crowd hotter. Jericho's performance was fantastic. Abyss underperformed. Crazy Steve did not come out of it looking good. And the TNA World Heavyweight Championship storyline has advanced, but lost heat. There were no skill improvements to speak upon. And just the one negative for Abyss's gimmick. Next up in a terrible matchup, DJ Zemion drew with Braxton Sutter in 3:34, following a double disqualification, and E+35. Ali did some good work at ringside. I'm going to have to take her off managerial duties for Braxton Sutter. Zemion not suited to his gimmick. A 31 for Zemion and a 33 for Braxton Sutter. Zemion improving performance skills, although I must stress there's a reason for the double disqualification. And that is because the fight between DJ Zemion and Braxton Sutter is an even contest for around 4 minutes before, out of nowhere, a man jumps over the railing and into the ring. But this is no normal man. This guy is a machine. In fact, it's Cage, the machine, Brian Cage. He gets in and single-handedly destroys both competitors, and he ends it with a powerbomb, one to each of the competitors. He leaves the ring and heads to the back. We notice there's no security in sight before he shouts down the camera, "I hope you're impressed, Carly." So E28, not great overness in this segment. Brian Cage debuts his egomaniac gimmick, getting an initial rating of very good, and he's getting better at the gimmick, which is even better. It did cool the crowd a little bit, but again, good debut there for the man they call Cage. Quite a few negatives to be expected. Next up, we're backstage and we see Ali trying to enter the women's locker room. She says, "Hello, is it okay if I come in?" But she's greeted by Gail Kim, who says, "Why, of course, Ali, come in. What's wrong? You look so sad." Ali says, "Just after what happened at Turning Point, I'm just afraid that not only will Sienna come out and get me, but the rest of the knockouts won't take to me." Gail Kim says, "Don't worry, Ali. We know you were misguided. Forget about Sienna. Focus on you now." So, of course, Ali's face, she's now trying to make friends within the women's locker room. A D46 angle there, which get the crowd a little bit hotter. Next up, talking of Sienna, she was in a matchup with not much heat and terrible wrestling, and she defeated Velvet Sky in 8-11 with Cutthroat, a D43, Velvet Sky with a 31, Sienna with a 44. But a good victory, nonetheless, for the champ. Quite a few negatives there though for Velvet Sky, which doesn't make good reading. After the match, we got a promo from Sienna. Sienna says, "Last Sunday was nothing more than a disgrace. But I was let down by that waste of space, Ali." Now, Ali doesn't need to bother coming out here to explain herself. You're just like the rest of the TNA knockouts. You're on the hit list. So go get pally buddy with Gail Kim. Because Gail Kim, just like Jade, just like Velvet Sky just there, each and every one of you will suffer the fate of an AK-47. So a C-58 promo, good from Sienna. They get the crowd hotter again, and it gained heat in the TNA Knockouts storyline. So I hope you're enjoying that storyline. It is getting a few knockouts over, hopefully. It was a good division in a few months. Next up, an extremely short match. And this has fucked everything up. In an extremely short match, Chris Melendez defeated Stu Barrett in 403 by submission with an All of Wars. An injury to Stu Barrett meant an audible was called and the finish was changed in the fly. So at C-57, that's going to push Chris Melendez up massively and hamper Stu Barrett, who's suffered a C4 cervical spine cord compression. That sounds nasty and sounds like a long-term injury. 28 for Melendez and a 70 for Stu Barrett. What's funny about that is a jobber has effectively beat Barrett in 4 minutes. And we did have this angle post-match, which was Stu Barrett was being destroyed by Chris Melendez. Sorry, he's destroyed Chris Melendez, and the former world champion is still not done. He stands and he waits as soon as Melendez gets close to his feet, and boom, he hits him with another bullhammer. Melendez is out cold, and Barrett gets to the mat, and he continues the beatdown. It's relentless. Out of nowhere, Lashley runs to the ring and tries to make the save, and tries to get to Barrett, who quickly slides out of the ring because he wants nothing to do with Lashley. Barrett rushes to the ramp while Lashley checks on the fallen Melendez. Now D+53 is okay. Melendez looked lost, Lashley looked like a star, and it advances the Protector storyline I've started. I think Barrett's going to be out for a long time, and that's not good. So we need to monitor that injury. That's kind of screwed the storyline up there, and I feel like Barrett will be out for a long time. So we'll see what happens. Next up, and about that had decent wrestling but little heat, Kenny Omega has defeated Phoenix in 10:54 with a handful of attacks. A C-54 here. Phoenix with a 45, a 53 for Kenny Omega, and the TNA X Division storyline has advanced and gained some heat in the process. No skill improvements and negatives for stamina on Phoenix after 10 minutes. Not good at all from Phoenix. Omega cuts a promo after the match where he says, "And this is what happens when Kenny Omega goes one-on-one with the loser of an X Division champion. Time and time again, I am placed in multi-man matchups. And why? I am clearly the only person deserving of a title shot. If I continue to defeat Phoenix, this should have been a title match. However, if this continues to be this way, I'm not going to stick around in this X Division for much longer. I'll go and attack the heavyweight classes and fight them one-on-one. BC for life." So a C-54 promo from Omega continues the X Division storyline. Just shows he's getting a bit disgruntled in the old X Division. Next up, in a decent matchup, we had Bram defeat Drew Galloway in 11:39 by pinfall, using underhanded tactics. A C+67, Drew with a 65 and Bram with a 60. Good win there for Bram, following up his impressive showing against Jeff Hardy at the pay-per-view. After this, we had a very good 6-man tag, which had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, as the BC's Adam Cole and the former Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, defeated Rey Mysterio and the American Wolves in 14:17, when Adam Cole and defeated Eddie Edwards by pinfall using the ropes for leverage. We also had EC3 coming in and distracting Mysterio, but I didn't mention that, 378, great matchup there. Adam Cole slowed down by injury. EC3 not suited to his gimmick. 67 for Nick Jackson, 68 for Matt. Solid 79s for Rey Mysterio and Adam Cole. 69 for Eddie Edwards. And a 70 for David Richards. The You Build On Me storyline has advanced with this segment, and the TNA Tag Team Championship has also advanced and gained heat, which is good to see. Eddie Edwards improves technical skills, and not a lot of negatives there, so a good showing from those guys. And our main event of the evening and about that had some good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Jericho and Fergal Devitt defeated The Decay in 1709 when Chris Jericho defeated Crazy Steve by submission with Walls to Jericho. Crazy Steve was a weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance, but a solid B-75 for a main event. Rosemary did some good work at ringside. Devitt with a 79, Jericho with an 80, Crazy Steve with a 40, and a 64 for Abyss. It continues the World Heavyweight Championship storyline. No skill improvements, a few negatives for Crazy Steve and Abyss. But overall, good showing, different main event, and pleasantly surprised by it. We end the show, post-match, Jericho and Devitt get the win. When Devitt turns round, he thinks Jericho is going to attack him. Jericho shouts over, "Don't be silly, not this time. I'm doing this all the right way." He offers Devitt a handshake, and of course the champion is hesitant, but eventually they shake hands. Jericho then gets Devitt's title and hands it over to him. He then says, that's it for now, Junior. But when we fight, we'll do this the right way. 1 week on Sunday, let's turn the house down, baby. So a B+88, solid promo. Jericho will be facing into the match, so will Devitt. And yeah, delighted with that. Gained heat in the storyline, and really, really solid ending to the show. Overall, B-76, another great show, and increases our popularity in all 18 regions again. So, we got a few storylines over, a couple of angles in the lower card, not so many in the main events. Like, so we've still got a good bit to do with EC3 and Rey Mysterio, maybe a few others concerning Bram, Drew Galloway, Shibata wasn't on the show, now there was Jay Lethal, but time constraints and want to give others an opportunity. That's the problem with such a roster. Some will get in 1 week, some won't. Problem is though, I'm very thrown off by the injury to Barrett. It sounds serious, and we're about to find out how bad this injury could be. So we'll have a look here. Should we sign TJ Perkins and actually use him, unlike TNA? See, Taylor Hendricks is wheeling and dealing. Right, worryingly, he's been hurt badly. He will have to take time off. So we'll have a look at this first. Semi on booking complaint. 2.65 TV rating. Crazy Steve sells like crap, so that's nothing new here. Devitt doesn't really like Crazy Steve in this. But the big concern, how long is the injury? 11 months and 3 weeks. Not good at all. It's a long, long injury. So, it's a medium risk. I think with an injury that long, we've got to try surgery. Complete success. So he's going to be back sooner. And it means we'll see Barrett, instead of 11 months, we'll see him back in 3. So a massive success there with that injury. Thank God. So I was so worried when I seen the injury. I'm like, we're going to lose him for so long. The fact we can get him back for March in the build up to Bound for Glory, I'm delighted with that. So that is the end of it for this episode. As I say, we'll have to change some plans due to the injury to Barrett. Have you ever had a worrying situation where somebody's managed to win in such circumstances? I don't even think Chris Melendez gained any pop from that, did he? Nope. So that's not too bad then. Did Barrett lose any? No, but it doesn't seem like so. So that's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. But yeah, have you ever seen anything like that in your game where it was meant to be a kind of squash match and an injury happened? Then yeah, let me know. As always, let me know how your saves are getting on, guys. I say any predictions for the card going forward. Let me know what you think. As say, any comments, subscriptions and likes are always deeply appreciated. And of course, you want to get involved in the old TW yourself, check out the description below. There's a guide in the best places to advertise, get started and get integrated into the ever-growing TW community. So as always, thanks for watching guys. Keep it tight.